Here we are, Robert Grieve, ladies and gentlemen. First, could you explain, this is an observational documentary. How does this differ from other forms of documentary?
Firstly, that's a good question. Firstly, I'll explain the brief to people because actually I'm a second-year university student at Bournemouth University doing a degree in television production. And for this particular brief we were given, it was to make an observational documentary which had to be, I've written the notes here just to remind myself, the duration had to be 6 minutes and the filming to be undertaken over 2 days. Now, with regards to observational documentary, effectively we had to make ourselves more or less invisible. So we couldn't actually prep any of the people that we were filming to say, oh, could you drive that forklift truck for us? Could you drive it over there? We literally just had to appear and remain effectively invisible. So hence the sort of term fly on the wall. And so that's more or less what we did over the course of the 2 days.
Fantastic, and you've got a fantastic range of shots there, and I love the time-lapse footage as well. It's beautiful. And
thank you.
I must ask though, of all the subjects in the world that you could have made a documentary about, why dock workers? What was it about that that really grabbed you?
It's, again, a very good question because part of the brief was that it had to be another world. So to take the sentence here, that the brief for the project is to take us, the viewers, somewhere we've not been before, into another world. So we, being students based in Bournemouth, most of my peers don't have their own transport, so we were sort of rather limited to geographically where we could film. So it had to be somewhere that was within easy reach of Bournemouth. So that was one of the things that limited, you know, we couldn't go sort of too far afield to London or what have you. We did sort of come up amongst the crew, we brainstormed quite a few ideas. Yeah. Some of the ideas we parked for a subsequent brief later this term actually, which is regular documentary. So where
so
we
it was
have
more about locality.
Really, so mainly about locality, and also because one of the team members mentioned about how about a day in the life of a dock worker. I must admit my initial thought was, would that be interesting enough to a regular viewer? I'm not sure that it would have been interesting for me, but I'm hoping that the film that we produced sort of made it interesting, because I think that most people think they know what a dock worker does, but do they really? I think again, I hope that the film demonstrated the dock worker isn't just sort of defined down to one particular role, that they do actually do a number of roles. So they could be a forklift driver 1 minute, they could be welcoming passengers off a cruise liner that afternoon, and that sort of thing. So there's quite a lot of diversity in the role, and yeah, we were very lucky in getting the permission to film there, because the security is quite intense.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the shots that I saw were from very high up. You obviously had to go up in a crane. How high up was that? Was that a few meters, I would imagine? And how?
Oh, I forget how high it was. I managed to persuade one of the dock workers to give me permission. I think being the old fart on the course, they said that yes, you can go up, but no one else. So I think they thought, well, because I've lived a little bit longer than my peers.
Okay.
So yeah, I went up and did that shot, and unfortunately, in hindsight, I didn't have the right lens for that particular shot.
It
so
still
it was a
looks
little
good
bit
though.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, so more about you now. You're studying at university. Obviously, you've covered a number of different areas so far. There is still more to cover. But what would you actually quite like to do afterwards? Where do you actually see yourself? Would it be in production of film or television production? What would you like to do in the future?
I'm keeping a fairly open mind so far. I mean, I particularly enjoy cameras and sound, much more so than the editing side of things.
Yeah.
I've come from an industry where I've sat in front of a computer screen for most of the day, so I kind of want to move away from that. Much as I enjoy editing, I don't want to be in a sort of darkened room for the duration of the day. I've had the luxury of having had some work experience with a number of production companies in different roles, BBC as well, ITV and some time ago, in a number of areas. So I'm keeping an open mind as to what particular genre of, or what sort of area of film or television I will ultimately go into. But certainly I do really enjoy the documentary side of things. Brilliant. And also I do like news and sport as well. So,
so maybe working for one of the news networks.
Quite possibly, yeah. I'm quite fortunate enough that I found out that I will be doing, I've got a camera assistant role at the Olympic Stadium as well.
Congratulations.
Which is, thank you. Great. So I'm obviously delighted with that. And that could push me down the sport route. So.
Brilliant. Okay, so you've got that coming up. Which other projects are you now working on? Are you working on some drama, some short film, other documentaries? What is happening at the moment?
We've got a brief, a drama brief is our next brief, and in fact we're shooting over the next 2 days.
Brilliant.
For this particular project, I'll be the production manager, so I've had a lot of pre-production to do. We've got an 8-minute location drama, which we're shooting at Highcliffe Castle in...
Beautiful.
You've been there, yes?
Yeah,
it's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. And we've managed to get some permissions to shoot internally at the castle, so that's good. And also Russell Coates Museum, which is in the centre of Bournemouth. I don't know if anyone knows that, but it's certainly worth checking out. And also, just to prove that it's not all glamour, we'll be in a sort of muddy field and a stables tomorrow, so it's sort of, we'll be, I've primed the team to come armed with wellies tomorrow.
Well, it's all got to be done, really, all in the name of film.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Robert. Robert Grieve, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.